Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the F1 2018 ORL Season 10 Race 5 here at Monaco. And we have just finished the qualifying session. VP Mark, on his last lap, managed to take pole away from Chro. Marko Krizman, though, will be gutted. He almost had pole. He was on a massively quick lap. He was looking for maybe a 107.5, but he was unable to find it as he tapped. His rear wheel tapped the wall at Raskas, which spun him around, and on his next lap, which was still quick, unfortunately, he ran out of fuel on the entry to Anthony Knowles. However, this is a big race today, as it is the last race for Emilio Sachs, who has been with the ORL since season 1, back with F1 2014. So from everyone here at the ORL, a massive shout out, a massive thank you to you for your commitment with ORL, and hopefully we'll be able to see more races. You'll be able to take part in more races throughout the season. To answer how many players are using the wheel, I'm not too sure. I would guess pretty much everyone is using the wheel. I'm not sure. Hopefully the drivers can clarify that if any of them are watching. Right, but here we are starting the the formation lap. So in this race, watch out for VP Mark, Chro, Calcifer, Marko Krizman and Velociphoton. These 5 are the quickest on the track. Nagram as well is very quick, but it is raining. Monaco, and it's raining. The first lap is going to be exciting. What I was going to say is these guys are especially quick. You have Velociphoton and VP Mark, who race in the AOR Split 1, which is the highest esports racing league in the world for Formula 1. And don't forget, Chro, Calcifer, Marko Krizman, they're right up there in pace, so they are also, some of the best racers in the world. And I will say that best racers in the world is the equivalent of F1. So yeah, watch out for them. Velociphoton, he does hold the second quickest lap time on the global leaderboard. Marko Krizman is 29th, I believe. And Calcifer is 60th. So they are really fast. We're talking about these top 5 are all top 100 in the top 100. So extremely quick. So these guys who are further back, they're not slow, it's just these guys are really fast. Okay. Woo. Right, as for penalties, VP Mark has a 5-second penalty in this race due to having a collision in the last race at Spain, where he had a collision with Black Panther and proceeded to rage quit. But that's the only other thing to mention. Right, let's get all of our stops. Tyre, disabled, enabled, broadcast. Yes, we are on the broadcast camera and we are riding on board with VP Mark. I am excited. I hope you guys are as well. Turn 1 is going to be a clown fiesta. But let's see, 5 red lights. And away we go for the Monaco Grand Prix. I said that a bit early. It seems to be a decent start. Velociphoton gets a good run. He'll move up into 4th place for the start. No, Marko Krizman seems to hold it. Velociphoton in 5th. No crashes, which is rather impressive. However, let's move up. VP Mark is in 1st, followed by Chro, Calcifer, Marko Krizman, Velociphoton, and Twin Barrel J. Everyone is on the intermediate compound tyres, and Weke outbrakes himself heading into Mirabeau. That will cost him his front wing, and he'll have to peel into the pits on this lap. Right, I'm going to put gap, interval and detail. I want it to be position change. So Mechmester with a good start, moving up 2 places. However, the bad starts are from Emilio Sachs in his final race, so that's a massive shame. Vader and Weke overtake. However, if we do look down, Elsinger is getting very close. Who is he on? He is on Toffee. Let's see, can he maybe make a move heading down into Mirabeau? Remember, there won't be any DRS because it is wet conditions. Right on his tail. Maybe if he can get a good exit through Portier, he will be able to get something off. Also, if we do look at the leaderboards, Velocity Photon is closing in onto Marko Krizman. But here we go. 1, 2, 3, through the tunnel. Elsinger right on the tail. Can he find a way through? No, he brakes early. He'll be looking for the slingshot out of the Novel chicane. But he is closely followed by Bencito, so he does have to be a little bit careful. Meanwhile, if we look down to 10th place, Elsinger has found a way past Toff. So that's a shame we missed that. However, let's ride on board with Bencito. Hopefully we'll be able to see a move. I can't believe I missed the only overtake of the race so far. However, it's a good exit from Bencito as they head up the hill. However, it's not really an overtaking opportunity heading into Massenet. If he can get the run through Casino Square, maybe into Mirabeau, he could get something off. And just behind, you can see Barney closing in. Twin Barrel J has dropped a place to Mail. We didn't see Mail getting close, and he's right on the tail. And Sector 2, Sector 3, there is a yellow flag. Let's move up. What is the yellow flag for? Chro has moved up into first. So VP Mark has made a mistake. And is he going to head into the pits? He has. So he must have... Chro with a penalty. Do you reckon he went... No, I don't think he went into the back of it. I think that VP Mark... I reckon he overshot it going through to back or the swimming pool and lost his front wing. That's what I think happened. That's the only way you can lose your front wing and cause a yellow flag between Sector 2 and Sector 3. Sector 2 and Sector 3 is in the swimming pool section. And Chro... Okay, the penalty, thanks for that. Penalty was for corner cutting. So perhaps it was through the swimming pool section. And Chro had to take evasive action and cut through the second part of the swimming pool section in order to avoid contact. So already we have had our first major casualty of the race. However, maybe he could stretch out his tyres from lap 5 to lap 39. It would be a massive, massive ask, but it is possible. Let's ride on board with these three. They're still battling for 10th place now. It was 11th place. However, if we look up, Nagrom closing into Twin Barrel J, who, don't forget, did get overtaken by Mail 2 laps ago. So it was Vader who caught out VP Mark. That is a massive shame. Yeah, that really is. And it's just a thing here at Monaco. Anything back marker, whatever it is, even if you are a back marker, it's so hard to get out of the way, and anything can happen. Yeah, exactly. If you are a back marker, it is difficult to get out of the way. I mean, you don't have many options through the Novel chicane. You could pull over into the inside, and through the second part of the swimming pool section, you can go off there. But otherwise, there's not really many opportunities. But here we go. Bencito, he's looking for a way past. He's right in the slipstream. Let's ride on board. Locking up the wheels, trying to find a way past Toff, but it's so easy to defend here at Monaco. And it's Toffee? Toffee runs wide, and he's lost the back end. Bencito almost followed him, but he caught it just in time. And a silly mistake from Toffee under pressure has cost him. And that's one way to get through. You know, you're behind, just pile the pressure on and they will make a mistake eventually. Meanwhile, so the question is, now that Toffee is out of the way as it is, so what happened was, going into Mirabeau, Toffee outbraked himself, locked up, and he just went straight into the barriers, and Bencito and Barney were able to get through. So if we do scroll down to Toff, you can see that he is missing a bit of his front wing. Or maybe not. Okay, so maybe he didn't break off his front wing. But, yeah. Let's look up ahead for now. Because Calcifer is closing in onto Chro. The gap is about a second, so he will be able to get that crucial DRS. And maybe that'll just help him conserve his fuel or his tyres just a little bit. Wait, hang on. Has Calcifer's taken Chro? Chro got caught up in the back marker traffic, and it's Vader again. Vader again messing up. I didn't see it fully, so I don't want to comment on it. And Chro, has he peeled into the pit lane? He has. And is it again? Has Vader resulted in another front wing loss? We saw it happen to VP Mark, which resulted in him retiring from the session. And it's now happened to Chro. Wow. Insane scenes here at Monaco. And, I mean, yeah, this is just getting ridiculous now. Vader is 1 minute 22 off the pace, and he's just consistently getting lapped. He's just, he is so slow. No offense, but this is where you would want to see like 107% rule. And again for Chro, in Spain, he made a mistake of his own accord, but here it wasn't his fault as such. But here we are, riding with Chro behind Nagrom. I just want to ride aboard. Maybe he can find a way through. The issue here is Nagrom will get DRS from Twin Barrel J. And it's a shame we can't see the forecast predictions, because that would be really useful. And it's a decent exit from Chro. But Nagrom will have DRS. No, he's going to do it down the inside. How brave is he going to be? He makes it stick. Oh, I wanted to switch to the TV Calais. Yeah, it was brave. I mean, you do have to remember that he is battling. He currently sits third in the championship behind Marko Krizman. So, I mean, you are risking your championship by going for this move. Anything that happens, and all of a sudden you're losing loads more points. But here we go. Chro right on the back of Twin Barrel J. Heading into the second part of the swimming pool section. Right on his tail. Nagrom also on his tail. So Twin Barrel J is holding up both of them. Here we go. Here's a decent exit. Riding on board. Let's switch. Okay, here we go, round the outside. No, surely not. He's going for it. No way. He's doing it up the hill. And Twin Barrel J goes into the wall. Side by side up the hill. That was incredible. And Twin Barrel J, maybe he should have backed off. Chro was right against the wall, in fairness to him. And two side by side is always going to be difficult going up the hill, and I'm not sure if there was contact, but yeah, into the wall, racing incident. Has he kept his front wing? His front wing does look to be in decent shape, and now Chro can really push and try to catch up to Mail. Let's go to Chro, who has caught up to the back of Mail. Chro is rapid at the minute. Right on the back, being careful not to tap the rear wing. Maybe a little look down the inside for Raskas. So he does pretty much have fourth guarantee, because as soon as Mail comes into the pits, he can push for another couple of laps, come in the pits, come out ahead of him. But he's not going to look down the inside of Sandoval. He didn't get the exit this time round. Mail. What do you call it? You know when you come out of a corner and you put your foot down and you lose the back end? It's not oversteer. What is the term you'd use for it? Because you can't exactly say power slide. I mean, you could say drifting. Yeah, no. It's just losing traction. But I feel like there is a term for it that I'm forgetting. For those of you who might just be joining us, we are lap 14 of 39 here and he goes around the outside. Mail letting him through there. So there we go. Male deciding not to hold up Chro, so that's very nice of him, and he has retired from the race, so fair enough to him. He has realised, and Chro into the back of Toffee. Toffee just slowed down on the exit. I wasn't expecting that, and Chro is in the pits. That is, he must be so annoyed. That's twice he's had an incident with a back marker. And look who's coming in behind. It's Shez, and he's going to have to wait. And that is one thing about being teammates. You do have to consider this. And he has to wait for the front wing to come on. Can he go? Now, there used to be this glitch back in F1 2015. And yeah, there you go. It waits about 5 seconds before it attaches the tyres. When you stack up in the pit lane, it waits about 5 to 6 seconds before actually starting your pit stop. So that is still, I don't know, I'd call it a glitch. Where will Nagrom come out? Is it ahead of Elsinger? It's going to be tight. And he taps the barrier. Wait, please tell me that hasn't affected his front wing. That would have been gutting, coming out of the pits and just busting your front wing like that. But he hasn't. It was close between him and Elsinger, but Elsinger gets it to work. He went into the pits 3 seconds behind Nagrom. That's how close. That's how much time you can gain with the undercut. And that's because Nagrom was slightly stuck behind Mel. I'm not sure if it's 6th place. However, look at Chro. And Velociphoton is into the pits. So he seems to have been aware of the fact that Chro was coming out. And here's Chro. Chro, is he going to be able to do it? It's a new fastest lap of the race. And he takes 3rd place. Absolutely fantastic from Chro. He has made the best of a bad situation. And I don't want to pick sides, but you have to feel bad for him. 2 incidents. Otherwise, he would have been leading the race. So, absolutely phenomenal job by Chro. Having lost his front wing twice to make it back up into 3rd. However, he does have some penalties. And I'm not sure, I don't think I can view the penalties that everyone has. So all Velociphoton will have to do, because he hasn't picked up any penalties, Photon. So he will just have to... So Velociphoton, he can stick to him and hope that after penalties he will catch up. Oh, that's an interesting comment. Is it drying up? I don't think so. Let's move back to Nagrom, who is closing in on Elsinger. Less than a second between them. But yes, it does look slightly dry, but I'm still seeing drops of rain on the track. And they are approaching Toffee, who is a back marker. He lets him through very nicely there on the entry to Mirabeau. And Velociphoton, I think he's dropping back slightly from Chro. Again, we don't know how much fuel they have on board, whether they have the option to go into Rich. Just 17 laps to go here. And this is the thing, where do you overtake? Where can you find... You have, on this track, there are 4 overtaking opportunities if you're being optimistic. 1 into Sandoval, which is turn 1. 2 is into the Lowe's hairpin after Mirabeau. 3 is here coming into the Novel chicane. And 4, if you're really lucky, into Raskas. But on this game, it is difficult to do it into Raskas. So I honestly think for the game, the best spot is into the Novel chicane, and the second best is into that into the Novel chicane. So I don't know. Let me know if you have raced at Monaco and you think maybe one of the other corners are slightly better. But look at Chro, 2.5 seconds within Marko Krizman. Imagine if he can find a second place here. And Velociphoton, what has happened? Okay, let's ride on board with Mel. Maybe we can see what's happened to Velociphoton. He went into the barrier and Mel hits him. And that's going to gift Elsinger a position. Has he lost the front wing though? I don't believe it. Velocity Photon. The driver I expected to be the quickest. The fastest driver here at Monaco. Second quickest in the world in the dry. And he has lost it on the exit of Casino Square. And here we go. Okay, Mail pulls out of the way. And don't forget, you still have Nagrom right on the back of Mail. And right, hey.
They said it was going to be a crazy one.
Yeah, you did mention. So yeah, I'm just going to introduce the guy who's commentating with me now is Shez. So yeah, thank you for joining us.
No problem at all. I thought I'd shed a little bit of light, seeing as I've been with the league for a little while now.
Heading into Raskas. We have seen he did pull off a really nice move into Sandevot earlier, but he doesn't quite get the exit this time round. He is on older intermediates. He has done an extra 5 laps, but he seems to be making it work for him.
I didn't see when he pitted. He's got to get past. This is for the championship here. I know Marko's also he's a contender as well, so no way they're going to catch Calcifer. But this is all just for points, manship.
And kudos to Calcifer. He has. I mean, after Chro got involved in that incident and lost his front wing, he's made no mistakes. He's just pulled out the gap and he's done what he has had to do. Oh, Nagrom's made it past Mail. No, sorry. No, he's behind Elsinger. Sorry.
Still behind. You just can't find the right place.
My bad.
Elsinger's got the pace.
Chro tapping the wall through the tunnel as he gets really close to Marko Krizman. Can he get the run out of the Novel chicane? Not quite.
Oh, big tank slapper.
Oh, that was massive. How much more difficult is it when you have no traction control on and you go from dry conditions to the wet conditions?
It's hard for the first 5 laps to switch over, but these guys who are running at the top of the field, there's a clear A and B series within this season so far. And I think it was rounded off from about 6th and above. These guys can just switch it on almost automatically. So yes, for us normies, it takes a while, but for these guys, these aliens, it doesn't seem to take too long. They're in the zone.
It's not easy being the car ahead.
It's definitely the worst position to be, especially in these conditions.
Right.
Take a couple of breaths. Fingers crossed.
Oh, and Chro's got really close on the exit of Sandevot as Marko Krizman makes a little mistake, but he's not going to be able to find a move into Massenet. Maybe if he can
keep on the back here, he might be able to get him down into the hairpin. Marko should go defensive. He doesn't. He's wise.
The thing, I'm just thinking though, would Chro risk a dive bomb? Would he risk it?
The speed difference on this track is just not worth it. He needs to wait for the mistake. He's got a couple of laps in hand. You might see him when it comes down to 2 or 3 laps to the end, he might chance it. But at the moment, it's not worth it.
I've put it on auto at the minute, so I don't fully. I mean, big mistake from Nagrom there as he loses the back end through the tunnel. Has he lost the front wing?
Looks all intact.
It does. That is really lucky from Nagrom. Did he just catch that in time, perhaps? But wow. Okay, we do have a question. So this is more for you, Shez. Do you get penalties afterwards for collisions with the wall?
With the wall, no. So just the collisions with the wall is just as per game.
Right.
The penalty system, and I did hear you commenting on Spain. Why aren't the drivers going so defensive?
Right.
If you cause an accident within the game, then the penalties can be quite severe. So they can have a knock-on effect onto the next race. Because obviously the stewards, they can't put in place a 5-place grid penalty. So the only way that they can punish us is by making us start at the back or the pit lane on the first lap. So no one wants to make any rash decisions, especially under braking, because everything is all looked at, everything's recorded. So the racing is always as fair as possible.
Right. So thank you for that clarification. Right, I'm going to go back up to Chro's coming through Raskas. Again, he will be in DRS, but again, he's just too far behind. Marko Krizman getting the exit he needs through the final corner of Anthony Knowles. Oh, and Chro has a massive tank slap on the exit of turn 1. He does save it though.
The ability to pull that back at that angle was absolutely amazing. This guy is another level of aliens.
I'm sure he was almost at 90 degrees there. That was
he was full lock.
That was fantastic. We did have a question earlier on in the stream. How many of the racers use wheels, or do any at all use the gamepad?
Every single one of us, I'm pretty sure, uses a wheel of some kind. I don't think there are any pad users in this league at the moment.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you've got to make sure you keep the concentration up. But Calcifer's a seasoned veteran. I think he's a 3-time world champion here at ORL. So
yeah.
He knows exactly what he's doing.
He won the last season and the season before that. So he's currently the double reigning champion.
I think he's double reigning champ.
I'm not sure if he won seasons before that. But
possibly. I know at least he's won the past 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, massive alien.
Oh, Nagram right on the back of Elsinger into Mirabu, almost touching the back end. And can we show the final lap of Calcifer? Yes, definitely we can do that.
My streamer saying that it's very professional commentating here at the ORL League. Absolutely.
Thanks.
I'm still right on the back of Elsinger here going down. Oh, almost touches under braking.
Little lock up, he's so close. Right, as a racer yourself in this league, if you're Nagram, what is your plan? What are you thinking? 4 laps, 3.5 laps from the end, what are you thinking about?
Literally just keep as close as you can. You can't make a move unless the person in front of you makes a mistake. There's no point jumping it up the insides. There's no way in these wet conditions. These guys are literally braking at the last possible moment before the corner. Unless something happens, then this is how they finish. So it's all very much down to the last couple of corners here.
Right. Oh, so close in Sanderford, right on the tail.
They are crazy close. Oh, so Elsinger went defensive there going into the entrance of the corner. He might put himself in a bit of a disadvantage if Nagram can get it together.
Oh, Nagram having a moment. Oh, he's moving out of the way for Calcifer. This could fall into Nagram's hands. We saw this last race at Spain. Okay, Elsinger gets out of the way at a really nice point for him. Nagram right on his tail. And that's
so unfortunate for those guys. If that happened in the straight under the tunnel, then that could have been a run for Nagram to get past.
And that's something that maybe I should have considered as well. You know, Calcifer coming around to lap people. If Nagram, maybe he could have been cheeky, held Calcifer up for maybe 1 or 2 corners and then let him through, and then said, "Oh, I didn't get the 3 blue flags or whatever." So that could have been something cheeky he could have gone for, but he didn't do it. So respect to that.
Last race I did hear you mention. I don't know if the teams work together. We are in teams, so technically we could work together. But I guess it hasn't been discussed before that if there is an opportunity like this that Calcifer would ever hold someone up. I guess it's perfectly within the rules. Team orders are a thing in F1, so why not?
Oh, here we go. Nagram! Oh, it's looking! Elsinger! Elsinger just takes the apex, says, "No, you're not going for that." Oh, wow.
Amazing driving from Elsinger.
As we enter the last 2 laps, I'm sorry, I don't want to switch over to Calcifer's final lap, and we had the same thing last race in Spain where we didn't show Calcifer's final.
Won it. Don't you worry, Calcifer's won it. He knows.
Don't jinx it. Don't jinx it.
He deserves those 25 points, but the real race is here in 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Here we go, and you have to think that something might happen. And one of the things I was going to say psychologically is you mentioned Elsinger going defensive into Massenet, and I feel like once you go defensive one time, you're now on the defensive foot for a really long period, and that just starts giving confidence to the person behind you, which is Nagram in this case. So you never know. As they're coming around, they're going to be approaching the final lap soon. These guys have been lapped, so even though that they will have 2 laps to go, they are lapped, so they will only have that. They are entering their final lap now.
Just a side note, Twin Barrel J's closed up 3 seconds on Benticio. Benticio might have a problem coming into the final lap here. Jay's going to see if he can get on the back of him.
Shall we? I'm going to switch camera. Yeah, twin barrel J, and there's been
Don't
contact.
switch. Nagram and Elsinga are going kind of toe-to-toe into the first corner. You shouldn't have moved
Oh,
over.
God.
He still holds the position as they blast up towards wherever it is, because I don't know the track as well as you.
Yeah, it's Massenate. Oh, God. There's too much stuff happening on this final lap. Yeah, twin barrel J is on the back of Benzito. I don't know what to watch here.
I think we have to go over to Nagram and Elsinga. The battle's been going for so long.
Yeah. Toffee letting them through well. And Chro's 1.6 seconds back, so he's got nothing. There's a yellow flag in sector 2, but it's temporary, so I'm not sure what that's for. Twin barrel J, half a second, that's Nagram. He gets a really good run out of Portier. Can he get it down the inside through the tunnel? Nobody's right.
He must have lifted there. He's going to have a
to
go into the break.
He goes for it. Last lap, Nagram finds the move on Elsinga and he moves up into 4th place. What a move.
What a move.
Right, I think
big man testes or something like that on the last
lap. That is going on the highlights reel at the end for overtake of
also
but twin barrel J having a massive moment.
That is
Benzito loses the back end and he's in the wall. It's after the race.
Got the finish.
Okay.
Laps, unfortunately.
I got way too excited for that.
Chro and Marko Krizman are still the closest people out on track.
Chro loses the back end, but coming through Raskas, Chro will take 3rd place. Marko Krizman takes 2nd. A decent run from him, but it's all about, it's not all about Calcifer, is it?
Unfortunately, that race wasn't. The race was back a couple of places, but
Pitt's back out again and found more time, and he even got the undercut off on Velocity Photon. So yeah, fantastic drive from him. I mean, I was saying at the start of the event, you've got drivers in like Velocity Photon and VP Mark who are in AOR Split 1, but you still have Chro and Calcifer who are racing against them and they're beating them. That's just how quick they are.
Arguably, people like Chro and Calcifer, they're on the same kind of level as some of these esports professional drivers. Top league AOR drivers, and they're beating them in races. So it is a very much an underground league, this one. But the more and more people join, the better it's going to get. There is definitely a split between the drivers. There is, just like there is in real F1. There's an A and a B. But yeah. All's to play for now. That was an amazing race. Just someone like Nagram, like I say, has only just switched over onto F1 properly from doing other types of racing. To do that kind of thing is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
But Chro to come back, brilliant result. That'll help him in the championship. Unfortunately, he couldn't get past Marko, but hey ho.
So there we go. That's the end of race 5 here at Monaco. Calcifer taking the win ahead of Marko Krizman and Chro, and extends his lead in the championship. But thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll see you again next Thursday 7:45 p.m. for Canada. So thank you guys for watching and see you next time. So what was your favourite overtake of this race? I've decided to continue this. So for our first overtake we have Chro, who gets a fantastic exit out of Anthony Knowles after coming in the pit for a new set of rubber, and he manages to go down the inside and take the place as he moves up into 6th place. And it does get a little bit tight, but he does make the move stick against Nagram. 1 lap later though, against Twin Barrel J, it's another great exit out of Anthony Knowles on the fresher tyres, but this time he's looking around the outside and somehow he makes it stick around the outside. It is so close and there is an ever so slight bit of contact, but he does make it stick, so congrats to him on that move. However, last lap of the race, Nagram, who has been on the back of Elsinga for about 15 laps, he gets the exit out of Portier. It's a great run, but he does have to lift out of it going through the tunnel to avoid contact, but he gets straight back in the slipstream, and coming in to the Knowles chicane, he gets the job done. The Neuville chicane, sorry. So a great move by Nagram on the final corner. So let me know what you think the best overtake was. And don't forget, see you next time and stay milky.